A man was about to spend the night inside a pit full of hungry lions. No weapons, no escape, no hope. The stone closed above him. The growls echoed through the darkness. Everyone believed it was the end. But before the sun rose the next morning, a miracle would shock an entire kingdom. This is the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Long ago, Daniel lived in the kingdom of Babylon. He had been taken from his homeland many years earlier. Even though he lived far from home, Daniel never forgot God. As the years passed, Daniel became known for his wisdom, honesty, and courage. When King Darius became ruler of the kingdom, he quickly noticed Daniel was different from everyone else. Daniel worked hard. He was trustworthy. He never lied. He never stole. And he always gave wise advice. Soon, the king trusted Daniel more than all the other leaders. In fact, King Darius planned to place Daniel in charge of the entire kingdom. But the other officials became jealous. Very jealous. They could not understand why the king honored Daniel so much, and deep in their hearts, they hated him. So they began searching for something wrong with Daniel. Day after day, they watched him closely. But no matter how hard they searched, they found nothing. Daniel was honest in everything he did. He never cheated anyone.
He never took bribes. He never abused his power. Finally, the jealous officials realized something important. The only way to trap Daniel was through his faith in God. So they created a dangerous plan. One morning, the officials gathered together and went before King Darius. They bowed respectfully and said, "O King Darius, live forever. We believe you should make a new law. For the next 30 days, no one may pray to any god or man except you. Anyone who disobeys should be thrown into the lion's den." The officials acted as though everyone agreed with the idea, but they were lying. They only wanted to destroy Daniel. King Darius liked the sound of the law. It made him feel important. Without realizing the trap, the king signed the decree. And according to the law of the Medes and Persians, once a law was signed, it could never be changed. The trap was now set. Soon, news of the new law spread throughout the kingdom. People became afraid. No one dared to pray openly anymore. But when Daniel heard about the law, he did not panic.
He did not run away, and he did not hide his faith. Instead, Daniel calmly went to his house. Just as he had always done, he opened the windows toward Jerusalem. Then he knelt down and prayed to God. Not once, not twice, but 3 times that day. Daniel knew the danger. He knew he could be arrested, but he refused to stop praying. His faith was stronger than his fear. Meanwhile, the jealous officials were secretly watching. The moment they saw Daniel praying, they rushed to the king. They said, "Did you not sign a law saying that anyone who prays to another god must be thrown into the lion's den?" The king answered, "Yes, the law stands and cannot be changed." Then the officials smiled and said, "Daniel, one of the captives from Judah, still prays to his God 3 times a day." Suddenly, the king realized what had happened. He had been tricked.
King Darius respected Daniel deeply. He did not want him harmed. All day long, the king searched for a way to save him. But no matter what he tried, the law could not be changed. As evening came, the officials returned to the king and reminded him, no decree signed by the king can be changed. The king's heart was heavy. Finally, Daniel was brought to the lion's den. The massive pit was dark and terrifying. Inside were hungry lions. Their growls echoed through the air. Before Daniel was lowered into the den, King Darius spoke with sadness in his voice. May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you. Then Daniel was lowered down into the darkness. A giant stone was rolled over the opening. The king sealed the stone with his royal seal. No one could rescue Daniel now. That night, King Darius returned to his palace, but he could not sleep. He refused food and entertainment. All night long, he paced the floor, worrying about Daniel. But inside the lion's den, something miraculous happened. The lions moved around Daniel. Their glowing eyes stared through the darkness.
But God sent an angel, and the angel shut the mouths of the lions. The lions became calm. Not one lion touched Daniel. All through the night, Daniel remained completely safe. Then finally, morning came. At the first light of dawn, King Darius jumped from his bed and hurried to the lion's den. As he approached the pit, fear filled his heart. With a trembling voice, he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God able to rescue you from the lions?" For a moment, there was silence. Then suddenly, a voice answered from below. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not harmed me because I was found innocent before God." The king was overwhelmed with joy. Immediately, he ordered his servants to pull Daniel out of the den. Everyone watched in amazement as Daniel was lifted safely from the pit. Not a single scratch was found on him. The lions had not harmed him at all, because Daniel trusted in God. King Darius could hardly believe what he had seen. Then the king made a new decree throughout the kingdom. He declared that everyone must respect the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. He rescues and saves. He performs signs and wonders. And from that day forward, the entire kingdom knew about the miracle in the lion's den. Daniel's faith had changed everything. Daniel trusted God when others were afraid. He stayed faithful even when his life was in danger. And because of that faith, God performed a miracle that nobody would ever forget. Sometimes courage means standing alone. Sometimes faith means trusting God when everything looks impossible. And sometimes miracles happen in the darkest places.